Hello and welcome. It is Eric Polly at erpley.com, ERPOLLEY.com. And this is a behind the scenes video of a large project that I've been working on. By large, I mean it's actually going to only be like 20 seconds, I believe. But it has a whole lot going on. A whole lot. WH, really got to emphasize on that. Make it happen, you know what I'm saying? So, without me gibber jawing about, let's just hop in and I'm gonna do this is actually the final step of animation. I am just gonna be fixing odds and ends, things that look a little off. Really, I'm just gonna be reestablishing a little bit better of a UV map on some of these buildings like these right here, specifically where it's cutting off a window, kind of like that, because if the camera shows it and it's in the screen for a long time, I don't want it to take anybody out of what's going on. Kind of a big deal, you know what I mean? First off, I do want to add some like fog or something to that notion. So let's go here. Let's hit tab, and let's look at it this way. And we're in edit mode now. I'm gonna go down so I'm actually looking at what I'm looking at. You know what I mean? Redundant. All right. Let's snap the cursor to selected, and that should bring my mesh creator, Shift A, to this location, and I'm going to create a cube. Cubes are where it's at. Let's hit size by 50, and then let's grab this up a little bit, maybe like so, because I don't want the whole thing to be foggy. I just want it to be a little foggy mountain breakdown. No, I want it to be like right about here, and then let's size that up and go. I don't want it to be foggy inside of that castle. Okay, that's really what I don't want to happen. So I'm gonna actually size it about like that, and then I want to make sure that I can also see these characters that are over here that you can't see because they're in image plane with a transparent background. There you go. That's more like it. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to make sure that those characters are visible and that this cube is covering a decent amount of space, far enough that as the eye can see, I suppose. Let's Control Shift S in case I do something I don't like. I can revert back to the version that I was just working on. That's an important step, and I can't stress that enough. Okay, so we have this cube. Now we're done. That's fog. No, okay. That joke's never gonna get old to me. I am always going to do it. So like, lay off my back or whatever. Let's do like a volume scatter. And this should make a general amount of fog once we plug it into the volume. And I don't think you can see it in this viewport. So alright, the density is really high, and that's okay, because we actually want to add some other nodes to it. One of them being a color ramp. Go down, plug this guy in to the density. And I think right off the gate, it'll do something, right? No, maybe not really. That looks so weird. Okay, let's add noise. Noise. Noise, noise, noise. Should we add the factor? Let's do that. Let's maybe see what that looks like. Scale that way up like that. Now, let's see if we can even see any fog in here. I don't want it to just make stuff dark. That's not really the purpose of fog, right? So let's go like that. Turn the absence of fog up on this color ramp. Okay. What's that look like? That looks pretty foggish. Fogalicious? Fogtastic? Fog pun. Give me some more fog puns. I need fog puns. Fog puns for days! So this is what it would look like, right? That's chaos. That's not what we want. That's why I turned this absence of fog up quite a bit. And then we can actually turn the color down, and that'll chill its beans a little bit. For some reason, I never understood the chilling of beans. I use that all the time. I say chill your beans constantly. But who likes chilled beans? I don't really understand. It's like maybe for a bean salad. Where does this come from? Insanity. Gotta chill those beans before you eat them. You don't want to eat beans hot. Not want a cold taco. That sounds kind of gross. I don't really know. I'm just, filling up that empty void of conversation that I'm having with myself. So, that looks pretty good. Let's save it really quick, and let's see what it would look like with it hit on. See if it's doing its job. So here's with no fog. I should pick a better frame so I can see a little bit more of what's going on. And let's put that fog back in. Yeah, let's pick a better frame, because that's annoying. I can barely see what the heck. It looks like a nice amount of scattered frog. Let's go down there, pick a frame, like up here. By the way, did I mention spoilers? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. This is just like a little show-off clip, I guess. Like, it's just a kind of show off what I can do, like a portfolio type deal. Looks very foggish. Fogorific. Now, how am I going to select this fog? Is it in this collection, I believe? It should just be cube. And I really need to rename that. That's the first action. Double click. Come on, Bad. Do the thing. Alright. Fog. Pretty self-explanatory. Where is it without fog? Give it a second to render. Rendering, rendering, rendering. And then let's add that fog back in. Let's see what that looks like. It's definitely going to add render time, but that's the price of quality, and I'm okay with that. Let's go down here where the dogs are. Where my dog's at? You know what I'm saying, bro? I don't. I hope you do. What is this old man saying? I call myself an old man. I'm not that old. You know you're old when you gotta say I'm not that old. Hey, I'm still hip with the kids. I'm on the Twitch and the YouTubes. I don't know what it is about old people making social platforms plural. They all have to do it though, right? Alright, so that looks fairly much like a cloud. And I'm gonna go back into this view so I can mess around a little bit. let's mess around. I'm gonna duplicate this cube and plop it up here. And let's add a new material for it. I should name both of these. If it lets me, there it goes. Fog 1 and Foghorn Leghorn. For all you kids that can remember that far back. I don't know if you guys are into those kind of like retro cartoons. Kids nowadays probably have no idea what that is. And let's turn down the amount of the amount of lack of fog. And then there should be a bunch of fog up here. Yeah, so yeah, it's rendering some cloud space. Cloud space! That sounds like a sweet, like, sci-fi. Next episode of Cloud Space! Oh, that's why I can't see what I'm selecting. Because I have it turned off. Kind of looks like Schmarg. Schmarg. Size it up. Alright. Alright! Let's see what this looks like from the camera view. I'm not going to animate it, and I'm not going to play the clip because it's just not going to want to do that. There's so much going on in this, and so many assets that Blender is just not going to want to do it. Maybe if I go over here and turn the viewport down to like 16. Yeah, so I can kind of see what I'm doing a little bit faster. It's definitely not better. As you can see, it's like, what's happening? Leave me alone. I like the fog though. It looks neat. Neat. Definitely adds a sense of realism, and will help the final product look nice and clean. Alright, let's go into the camera and just make sure that we're not muddying anything up so you can actually see all these fine details that I have spent the time on to make happen. Because otherwise, what's the point, right? I don't know. Now. How's that fog look? Did I, let me make sure I didn't edit my first fog. No, I didn't. Okay. But I did not apply the second fog to the actual texture. I made it and then I was like, yep, that's all I need to do there. Well, let's find out if yeah, that's exactly what I did. Select all, assign. Oof, that's thick. That's way too thick. You don't hear me say that very often. Alright. Alright. Mitch Hedberg fans out there? I don't know. Let's see if there's any cross preferences when it comes to the Commodore 64. I don't know. Just rambling because I have to wait for rendering process to make sure that it looks nice and clean. Yeah, I think we can actually turn down the scale on the top fog. And turn down the roughness maybe. So it looks a little bit more cloudy, perhaps. Yeah, like this. That's what we want. Now there's clouds. Generally speaking, it's like a kind of a rainy day, I suppose. It does look like it kind of ends abruptly. You can kind of see the end of clouds. That's not really how it works. So I'm going to size it up by grabbing it and just extruding it. Well, not extruding it. I literally just hit SX and XY with a nice enter key in between. Shorty. Okay, now you can generally not see the end of the clouds. They look nice. I'm going to turn the scale down even more and make sure that that looks fantabulous. And I'm looking from an angle that I don't even think you can actually see in the animation. But butter. Just apply some butter. I like a nice stick of butter. So that's kind of what it looks from sky view, and you won't really see any of this in the animation. Let's click this so I can actually get to where I'm trying to go. I want that to be the center of my view. Let's go into the layout and see how this looks from the camera. And rendering. Again, this is the final process of the animation, and I'm just fine-tuning stuff, so I really want to see what it looks like when it's rendered, and that's why it's so important as of right now. So I think I could turn down actually the strength of this one over here. Am I in edit mode? I am. I want to go into object mode and select the first fog. First off, let's hide it and see what that does. Does it change quite a bit? Yeah. So I kind of want to turn it down a smidge. And let's go into that shading again. I know, I'm fine-tuning fog. Isn't that exciting? I actually think it is. Nerd alert. That's alright. That's what I do. Alright, let's hide it again. And see if I can see what I'm working with here. You can generally see it when I turn it off and on. There's like this cloudy layout of stuff. I want to turn it actually all the way white. And then let's just change the scale of it a lot. So that way the bits of fog are a lot smaller and you can actually see the detail more. And I just want it to be there. I want it. Actually, you know, let's do the exact opposite. Let's turn it down to like 40. So there you go. That looks more. They're like particles at this point. There, you got to see the fog moving. Now from this angle, I just want to make sure that you can still actually see everything that's going on, you know? So let's turn, let's turn that down like that so lights show through a little bit better. As far as I understand, that's what this does. And let's go back to this fog, this first one. Let's see, actually, let's grab it down a little bit, size it up, see what that looks like. I think it's a little too sparse. That might be what the main issue is. I'm almost debating on hooking up an emission to it, but I'm not really sure what that does. I don't want it to be insanely bright, but I don't want it to be this dark. Does look cool. Turn this down maybe. Yes, quite. Quite rather, indeed. Perhaps. Let's look at headshot. Let's side profile. Front profile. I don't know what that's actually called. Nose. Fronty. Technical terms. You probably don't even know what I'm saying. Still, that looks like insanity. Let's check the camera. The layout. Blender, don't crash on me. That's really the wish of everybody creating things in Blender. They're like, just don't crash. Please. So, I like the look. Let's turn the lack of fog up. And let's see. Maybe like this. I know. It gets weird after a second. And now I think that looks pretty good, honestly. Maybe I'll add like one of these so then I can add a little bit more of a difference in the middle, so it's not so plain, I guess. Gosh, they're so close to each other that it's hard to grab what I'm trying to grab. Boy, words, you know what I mean? Who came up with them? Where did they originate? Alright, one more look. Let's actually go over to the layout, because I'm pretty sure this is exactly where I would like them to be. But I want to go down and look at, make sure I can see the dogs. Make sure it's not muddied up with fog, because obviously I want it to be a little bit foggy. I don't want it to be to the point that you can't see what the heck's going on. Right? That's the idea, anyways. I should render out an image just to make sure that everything's the way I want it to. And you'll see, once I'm getting to it, that there's actually bugs over here. If I can... it really doesn't want to play. Let's go over here. Now I'll turn this view on. You can see the buggies. That looks pretty legit. I want to see. Let's see over in this view once again. I want to make sure, you know, that I'm adding something that's not going to just destroy my entire animation. Because the animation in animation is the key to animation. I should write a book. I like the way that this looks. It looks pretty good. Let's play through a little bit further. Go down to there. Yeah, a lot of this stuff plays by really fast. I might just select all and change all the keyframes to where they move a little bit. Or I won't. I'm not really sure yet. I might render the entire thing, which will take like 2 days probably. 2 full days of rendering. And then I'll check it out after the fact and see if everything moves the way I would like it to. Now, are the bugs showing through? Okay, yeah, you can see them. See if those bugs are still there. Yep, they're there. It's just having a hard time rendering them at the moment. and that's, you know, understandable. It's there's so much going on that it's just blending those colors together and not really showing me what it looks like, but it'll show through in the final render as long as I have the sampling up enough. So that's where that becomes important. And yeah, all right. I'm satisfied with this fog. It looks good. I kind of want it to move a little bit, actually. So let's make sure I have the first fog selected, and I'm gonna Control S to save, Control Shift S to save as, and this is again an important step to make sure that I don't need to go back and redo a bunch of work that I've already done. So I'm gonna change the scale from 59. You know what? Before I do that, Control Z. Let's go to the beginning of animation where you're gonna see this fog, and let's go back one more. All right, and let's go to the shading. I'm gonna hit the eye. Go back to the layout so I can see the timeline. I could bring up the timeline in the current shading, but I don't like doing that because it's just easier to mess around back and forth like that. So it's going to be moving just a bit through the entire animation, just enough to where it is in fact moving. And that'll, again, add a little bit of realism. Fantabulous. I like it. Great. Good job. Control S to save. And I'm satisfied with this fog. I'm satisfied with this fog, which you can't even see in the gray background. It's understandable. Let me take one more look at it. Let's grab it up a little bit and size it up so it's a little bit more consistent. Let's make sure that the castle's not in the way. The castle in the sky. Where is it? There it is. And hit the dot. So then there's no clouds inside of the castle, because that when we're talking about that realism stuff, that would be the opposite of what I'm trying to go for. Let's go inside here really quick. That dot again. Make sure there's no fog inside here. Get in there. No, no, no. No, no, no. Oh my god. Just look at the thing I want to look at, would you? Just want to make sure there's no fog in here. Yeah, no fog. Perfect. Perfection. Castle in the sky. What? I don't know. Dude, I don't know. Let's change the viewport settings so I can look around a lot easier. Because at this point, I'm going to start editing things like the front of each building and stuff like that, like this guy right here. And it's not selecting it for some reason. Maybe it is. And I'm just, oh, it's because it's selecting fog. Let's go into the fog and let's make sure I can't click on it by just turning these off. That'll make it nice and easy to select these things. And let's see, actually, I wonder if changing one of these is going to change it for all of this building, as I have replicated them to make it easy on myself. Let's go to UV editing, hit that dot so I can work with what I am working with. Words, you know, they're hard. I think I stole that from Rubber Onion podcast. If you're an animator and you haven't checked that out, what are you doing with your life? Man, that kind of sucks. Maybe we'll go all the way up here and select this guy. And let's size it down, I guess. That way there's no window in the middle of nowhere. And where's this one? Grab it and do the same thing. And we're gonna size it down, I suppose. Really, it's gonna be a matter of trying some things and seeing what works best. I just want to make sure that there's no random windows like this in the middle of nowhere. Like or not in the middle of nowhere, but you're being cut off in a weird, unnatural fashion. Yeah. Words. Again, they're hard. And let's select this one. And bring it over here. Bring it over there. Doing a thing because I'm editing a square. It was a square, now it's a building. It's not a skyscraper, but an apartment. I should get back into singing. What do you guys think about that? No. Get out of here, you. That looks pretty good. This looks weird. I mean, really, I can just edit it the way I see it. Hope that made sense. That looks pretty good right there. This can move over this way. Fine-tuning the UV layout of a building. Important, but not the most exciting thing. And this is why you would pay somebody to do this. Like me. That doesn't really have a problem doing it. I just expect compensation. It's so weird, the fog moves around a little bit when I'm grabbing these assets. Alright, you're not going to see anything past that, so I'm not going to worry about it. However, I know you do see this, for sure, and that's one of the main ones that was bugging me. Oops, I don't want to grab the building, I want to grab the UV map. Size it just so slightly that it's still consistent with the other buildings, but again, not cutting off a window in a really strange way like this. Like, what is going on with that? Let's scroll it down like that. Is it cutting off? Well, yeah, it is. Let's do one of these, and good enough. I was going to say perfect, but no, that's not really the idea. These are background buildings. They don't need to be perfect. They just need to be acceptable. Not where they were, is what I'm getting at. They were not acceptable. Unacceptable, if you will. Indeed. Indeed, sir. Indeed. Grab this one, move it down like so. Just to make sure that the bottom is actual window. Same thing here. Size it up just a smidge. We can grab the whole thing. Plop it like, well, size it up more. And grab it and move it over here. That looks like a building. Great, because that's what it's supposed to look like. Good job. And what's this one need to do? That's kind of a tricky spot. I think I'm gonna just leave it like this. I don't even, this one's more of a background building. You don't really need it to be even as good as the other ones. There they go. This one definitely needs to change. But like that looks great. Fantastic. That's in a different set of buildings. Now you might be saying, they look all the same. Did you just copy and paste them? Kind of. There's a whole video of me using the GPS system OSM setup and creating these buildings. If you want to go check that out, that's how I did this. But at the time I did not fine tune them. I wish I did this beforehand. But I mean, either way I had to do it at some point. So no harm, no foul. That's not even a bird. Oh, dad jokes, dog. Yeah. Dad jokes for days. Shorty. I don't know why I say that. It's ill-fitting. And I am unfit to say these things. Shorty. Whoa. Size it up. Grab it. Oop, wrong way. A little bit that way. Maybe right there. And then size them down. That's acceptable. I don't think you even see this one. Most of these I don't even have to really look at the UV map and where it's at. I can just kind of guess. Just by looking at... you're definitely not going to see that. So yeah, start getting in this edit mode and just start editing every single thing. And sometimes I'll look afterwards and be like, oh, I didn't need to do half of that, and I wasted time. And time is money, and I don't want to waste money. Especially when it comes to a paid project. It's I'm not going to waste your money, I'm not going to waste my money. It's just like any other occupation, it's best to save time and money wherever possible. This one's a little bit thin. So let's cut off one window and just leave another. I know you see this one. At least I'm pretty sure. I'm going to have to check and make sure in the viewport that everything looks good before I finalize it. Let's Control Shift S and save before I get too carried away. I'm sure I'm satisfied with everything that I've done so far, but you never know. I might want to go back and change more stuff or revert back to a change that I've already made. Things happen. That's a generic statement. Things happen. Did you know that? When there's a thing, it probably happened. That looks pretty sweet. Is this cut off a window? Let me see. Because I know for sure you see this one. I'm going to just size it up, actually. And I think I can do the same thing with this one. Oh, yeah. It's like, am I editing it in the 3D space? I don't want to do that. This actually looks good. No, actually. I need to make sure that that bottom window is not getting cut off. I can barely see. Did it do its job? Yeah. That looks pretty smooth. But this one, I think needs to move down, because there's like a weird line on the bottom. And I remember that the camera actually swings over and looks at that building in particularly. In particular. Let's move this like that. So it's got nothing. Nothing. You got nothing on me, Kappa. Bang. Orang. Boomerang? Yes. I think yes. And let's do a quick playthrough and make sure that everything is running smooth. I'm just going to play from this particular frame just so I know once you enter the city that everything is running smoothly. Let's turn off the fog. I do believe that's what's causing the issue with its play. No, not at all. It's just so much going on here, but the fog will help. You can actually maybe turn this guy off. Meow. Why am I looking for it over there? H. And we can just watch its floating head. That's fine. Okay, well, first of all, let's go back. Alt H, and let's make everything viewable. Now, I'm going to look at these buildings and make sure that everything actually looks like a building. Like, what's this? What's this here? What? Why did you... Ah, goober. Haha! This guy. Grab it and put it right here. And actually that looks like a really good cut. Let's view, and then let's go into the cam, and we need this one too. Grab it, and let's just put it over here because it's like a weird corner piece. Maybe this one too. Select all, grab it. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Haha! And that should make it look a lot better. And let's play through a little bit more. Let's Control S to save, because Blender might crash any minute now. You know, this is unrelated to the background buildings, but I'm thinking, I know, dangerous. I think that this building and the one next to it should switch places. And all the stuff inside of it is not parented. So I'm just going to grab it. Let's hide actually really quick. Grab these. And Alt H. And then let's just grab this and move it like so. Okay. Now let's grab this one and move it about like so. And that's just because I saw that there's quite a bit of focus on that first building, and I don't want it to be this ugly ass one. Wow, I swore. Whatever. Swearing, that's what adults do. I'm sorry. Now, there's an ugly building, nice, clean, beautiful, modern building, and then right back to ugly building. Yep. Shade smooth. Let's go over here and turn on this. And that's so this looks a little bit smoother. We could probably do the same thing with this one. And that will make it look clean. Oops. Shade smooth. But turn this on. So any smooth objects will actually be smooth. And that's fancy. I might do the same thing with this. Even knowing it's architecture, it still looks a little bit better when it's shade smooth. Shade smooth just looks so smooth. G. Willikers, friends and family. Okay, back to the viewport. Let's make sure that all the rest of the buildings look nice and clean. Fantabulous. I don't want any weirdness to take people out of the animation. What's going on over here? I know I already did this one, but maybe I didn't do it well enough. I was holding the space bar instead of the shift bar. I don't know why I want to say that so bad. I just want to make sure there's not a window poking through like that. And let's just grab all of these that you can see. Actually, that one looks okay. And what we need to do, I don't want this view. I want to go down to the Country Music Festival. No. Let's grab it and pull it up, actually, which will pull the UV map down. And let's see what okay, this one still needs a little fix, like so. And this is just where it becomes time to be a bit of a perfectionist, and that's just swell. Yeah, that looks great. That looks great, I say. What? What happened to your voice, mister? I don't know. I'm just in it to win it. Yeah, so I think this looks renderable. I'm gonna save. Control S, Control Shift S to save again. And let's save number 57. And let's make sure the external data is in fact in there. I haven't used any texture paint or anything. It's not really the kind of... Oh, I hit play again. Alright, I think let's go from here and go into the camera again. I don't need to play it, but I'm going to play through with manual. Looks pretty darn good. It's kind of a trick to your eyes, so some of these buildings have much larger windows. See, there's like a turnaround point right there to where you see a lot of these buildings. Like from here, right here is where it starts. Yeah, so if you paused at any of the point in this and you were trying to, you know, scope out any imperfection, you would see them like this. Grab it and push it a little bit further. Let's go back to the layout, and I don't see anything. Oh, right there. That's the one. You little buddy, you tried to escape. What are you doing? What are you doing over there? I don't like it. Okay, great. That's fixed. Play it a little bit further. And now it's playing nice and smooth. What's going on? Cool. And that there'll be a little bit more depth into these when there's shadows, shading, that sort of thing. And it zooms out, and that's the final animation. At this point, I'd be putting like a logo or something over here. I can even add another keyframe, rotation, location, and maybe start rotating like this way or something, and grab it and pull it this way. Rotation, location. I could have just gone here, but same difference. Grab it a little bit like that, rotate, and oh, I wasn't on the keyframe. Hit the N key, go one to the left, that's the one we want. Let's rotate just ever so slightly, like so. So then something is happening at least on the screen at this point. So it grabs, goes this way, and then immediately turns that way. And that will be the end of the animation, because at this point I'm just going to have my website and stuff labeled over here. Does the fog go out far enough to where you can see it at this point? Yeah, it does, right? It's like, yeah, it's huge. Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because for a second that looked really weird. Actually, this could probably size up a little bit. And let me Control-Shift-S, because this might be the thing that breaks it. You never know. Blender. Pesky little fella. And I just want to go in here and see if you can see fog. Because that's important, it really is. I mean, what's the sense if you don't make it perfect, you know? If you're gonna spend this much time on an animation, it should be perfect, exactly the way you want it. And that looks great, actually. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and render an image or two. And you know what? That rendered image that I'm gonna render right now is going to be the same one that was on this cover of this video on the youtube.com/Erpley. You can also find these kind of videos at erpley.com. That's ERPOLLEY, and I'm in my sales pitch voice. That's right. If you stop by now, you can buy one, get one free. What is it? I don't know, but you can stop by and get a BOGO burger. I don't know. It's been Eric Pauly at Erpley.com. I'll see you next time. Alright.